Peace and love. Welcome everybody to More Knowledge, episode 1, the Moorish connection to Mexico. This is a special episode, an inaugural episode. So what is Khalifa Society? What are we about? We're a Moorish organization that seek to let every culture on this planet know how they're connected with us so we can get organized, so we can centralize our finances, so we can use those finances to get land, housing, start businesses, etc. And most importantly, people classify as Black, Latino, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Indian, Native American, show how we all the same people so we can be inspired to work with each other in the first place. So episode 1, Moorish connection to Mexico. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, you can call me Ms. Z. How are you?
Ms. Z.
Yes, sir.
We have Ms. Z. I'm Brother Mafiel.
Yes, thank you.
And before we get into this dialogue, I want to let it be known that we do have a fundraiser going for our land trust. This information is
happening to inspire people to know we exist, to want to donate in the first place.
So how about we get the episode going? The first thing I want to talk about is the Olmec civilization. A lot of people, when they show the Olmec civilization, I noticed they show the war helmets. But the one that I showed you and that we're showing right now,
correct, yeah,
that we're wearing right now, is a more traditional, customary Olmec picture. The war helmet is more military. All right, but let's speak on this Moorish headdress. What is this? It displays a matriarchal system. It represents the umbilical cord. Most people can't see right now, but there are 4 holes on the top representing the 4 seasons, the 4 gates. Okay? But most importantly, it denotes the people that have a nationality and illustrious culture. So when you study the Olmec civilization, you'll see that they were the pyramid builders of Mexico City, the Yucatan. They spread into different areas of Central America and South America, etc. Now, fast forward to today, areas such as Mexico will look at the Olmecs as ancestors. All right. So the reason we want to look through the lens of the Moorish lens, because we're not saying Black, Latino, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Indian. We're saying, Moor or Morena or Moreno, which unites all these different facets of people. Conquistadors were the facet of people that colonized our people to be in this fractionized state. We're speaking from a perspective of world history, which is different from United States history. As we talk about world history, these things become surprising. But once again, that's the whole point of this episode 1, the whole point of Khalifa Society, etc. Now, Ms. Z.
Yes, sir.
When you go through society, what's the conditions of the neighborhood you see of our people classified as Black and Latino?
In what terms, first of all?
As far as conditions, ideologies, interest level.
Okay, I feel that actually when I do observe the conditions, I do believe there's different factors that play into it, but I do believe that we're not taught our history from our roots. We're taught only Western history. And I think not having knowledge of your history doesn't allow you to make very well-informed decisions or move forward or be able to progress in a certain manner or factor and be self-reliant. So I do feel that it starts with our kids, that they've been indoctrinated to believe a certain belief without really knowing their prior history. And if you don't know your history, you're either going to repeat it or you're going to make a definitely uninformed decision in it. So I think that plays a big part in having knowledge and us as older and being able to have that historical history and history, being able to teach our young kids or younger generation so they can be able to progress with that is very important. It's very ideal. That's one thing.
I like that. And as you were speaking, I was thinking about when I was in high school, I had friends I identified as being Latino or Mexican. But when they speak of their grandparents, they always say, oh, Native American or Indian. My grandparents from this tribe, Navajo, Cherokee, Choctaw. All my friends and myself, including my great-grandmother, same thing, Cherokee. My friends, my peer group that identify as Black will say the same thing about their grandparents. Indian. So, that got to make you think, oh, we're the same people. People today that are classified as Black and Latino are the same people if we're saying both of our ancestors are Indian. So that means we're the true Americans. That's a commonality, right? That's why we're doing this podcast.
Exactly.
To make those connections.
Right.
Make more conscious, right?
Right. I don't believe there's a lot of people that understand that there's so many connections to that. And you make a great point to that. And I think that's important to note for the viewers to be able to see that and even research a little bit into that, because you're not going to get it anywhere else if don't speak on it. The school system is not going to teach you that.
Right. And once again, to reiterate, Khalifa Society is a temple and a learning institution for people to come tap in and get world history, which inspires you to want to work together and get that ball rolling. So we brought up grandparents saying we're Indian. Let's talk about that word Indian. This is a document that you can use as an exhibit in court. It's a congressional record, state level. It's a state level regulation, so you can use it just like case law. This is Delaware Code Title 29, Section 106. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it talks about not only the Lenape Indians, which what they say is a tribe of Delaware, the Lenape Indian. But in this document, it talks about before they were labeled Indian, they were referred to as Moors. And Moors would be more of a ancestral or ancient terminology versus the terminology of the colonizer. Why I feel that's important for people to know is because it's already documented. You can get a certified copy of it from the Library of Congress. You can do a Freedom of Information Act. You get a certified copy of these things. And they're bound to give it to you. But most importantly, it talks about how Indians are really Moors. So people, back to that Black and Latino thing. If we both saying our ancestors is Indian, that means we're only who our ancestors are without that contradiction, right? So that means we're the same people. We're all Moors. Now, Spanish, you'll say Moor, just simply Moreno or Morena.
Moreno, Morena.
Right? Now, when I tell my Mexican partners, oh, that's where that word come from. Right? But it takes the people to make these, right? The colonists are not going to make these easy connections for us, because they want us to be divided, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things that they will not tell you for division purposes, right? Division and control. Division and control. So I think it's very important. I believe it's very important to know those two things, division and control, right? Because if you have that, then they can conquer. And they have all the control. So it's important to be self-reliant and learn things along the way with that as well.
Self-reliant and self-sufficient.
Correct.
Since we're dealing with this topic, here's another piece of evidence that you can use on the same footing as our case law. This is a congressional record titled The Annexation of Texas. This is actually a House of Representative ruling. You can get the same thing. For the Library of Congress, you can order a certified copy of this document and have their signature seal that came from them. Now you can use it in court. What does this document say? It talks about how Mexico anciently belonged to the Moorish people, Mauritanian races, and Indian associates. So as we've been talking, and you throw this documentary in the mix, we got one document saying India used to be Moorish. We have another document saying Mexico anciently was Moorish inhabitants, essentially. Now we're telling the story. Oh, That's all Black, Latino, Hispanic come under one banner, organize, have pride amongst each other, form a brotherhood, sisterhood. Right? It could be a beautiful thing. Because once Blacks and Latinos unite, that's all the Compton Watts. That's all alone. That's all the Chicago. That's all the
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everywhere it's a quote unquote ghetto. It's from California to New York. Crip, Blood, Vice Lord, Sereno, Northano. We turn all that into culture.
Yes.
It's a whole nother world.
Definitely.
Instantly, right? So this is a document to show you that this is not really an opinion. The whole world know about this. And like I told you before we aired, most people that come from the East, they look at Blacks and Latinos as the same people anyway. It's only domestically we think we're different.
Right.
Because K through 12. That's another thing that people need to realize. Another thing, another person, because when you start talking about people we learned about in school, it's typically the same usual suspects: Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Thurgood Marshall. But they don't talk about people like El Yanga. He was a Mexican hero. He was known for fighting off the conquistadors, where Mexico had its independence based on this revolutionary activity. Now, El Yanga, as you can see, this brother is darker than Wesley Snipes. He darker than me. He'd be considered today Black, Negro, colored, African American, but he's considered a national hero of Mexico. If this was taught in the school books, now you're looking at your peers different.
Of course, yeah.
No, that's my brother. That's my sister. But in America, they play, I noticed, the skin tone games, which they play heavily for, division purposes. But all across the world, specifically, we're talking about Mexico, that's what we're dealing with in this episode. It's a lot of different skin tone of Mexican people. You have Mexicans that speak full-fledged Spanish that are darker than me. You have some that are lighter than you.
Correct.
So, in law, even though that's not the scope of this episode, your nationality determines your allegiance. Once you understand how history went and how things got to this point, now you have a choice of who to ride with. But you gotta first know the story, or you're gonna be thinking, oh, those are Black people, we're Latinos. But if you don't know about the conquistadors, and prior to the conquistadors coming here, everybody was dark. And when they mixed with us, then it became the different shades. Now you like, oh, okay, my people was raped. Okay, I got a dual bloodline.
There is a lot of that, yes.
And now you can competently, I want to put allegiance towards the original American side, or the Moorish side, or I want to put allegiance to my Spanish side. And that's the bottom line. And most of my Mexican brothers and sisters that I meet, they're more prideful for the American side. It's some that, like I said, get bougie.
Right. But there is those.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, but I will say that as a Mexican myself, and there is mixture in my blood, I definitely have a lot of pride with my Mexican side as well. So there is an allegiance to some form, but more than anything, it's for what is right and wrong for me, right? A color of a skin or a shade shouldn't determine a person's value. Mm-hmm. But that is what is being taught here.
Right.
And knowing your history, like you said, it's very important to know your history. So then again, you can make that informed decision. And yeah.
Exactly. And while we're speaking about Moor, Moreno, Morena, that's short for Moroccan, right? Just to clear it up, put a nice full circle on this, because most people get confused about, Moroccan. That's what it is. And Al-Moroccan would be a more ancient tongue of saying American, just to put that out there. But let's go into the Treaty of Morocco with the United States. In this treaty, we have Moorish or Al-Moroccan or indigenous sultans to the Americas that we established a treaty with Queen Elizabeth and her crew. And based on that treaty of natural resources, we allowed her subjects to set up colonies over here. Those colonies, once they got to 13 of them, decided to disconnect from the people they were paying taxes to in England.
Yeah, they did.
All right, so once they organized, there's a lot more to the story, but they declared their independence and they entered into a treaty with the home team. This document is the treaty that I'm talking about, called the Treaty of Peace and Friendship in 1786 between Morocco and the United States. In this treaty, Article 16 talks about any exchange or any discretions, and they have to be made up by a payment, would be of Mexican dollars. So another cross-referencing piece of information to correlate how Mexicans and Moors are the same people. Because in the treaty between Morocco and the United States, which was the first treaty, when the United States became its first became an entity, the first nation that they seek to get a treaty with is with the Moors. That gave them sanction to be in America. Prior to that, they were looked at as refugees, because once you're not connected to who you, like, if you're a British subject, your French subject, you're like, nah, I'm not. That's your mother. That's your sovereign power.
Right.
You're not in Britain or France no more. So in order to have sanction on this land, you have to enter into a treaty. That's that treaty. So, any closing remarks? I feel like this was a good inaugural episode.
Right. I feel like I do appreciate you bringing some historical facts, and these things are documented, so it's there in history, so it's nothing made up. I do appreciate that, especially for the viewers that don't know that. You guys can actually go and look at it yourself. The Freedom of Information Act also allows you to get all this information. So it's nothing that has been misconstrued or put out there just like that. So I do want to appreciate you for that and for your time in that sense. But, and just being able to know your history is very important, so we can make an informed decision, and passing that history along the lines to our offspring or anybody that's willing to learn, because again, we live in a Western society that's not going to teach you that.
Yeah, and I appreciate your time as well.
Appreciate your time as well too.
And to conclude, once again, whoever doesn't know, Khalifa Society is an organization. Come tap in with us. Every Sunday we have our temple meetings. You can tap in to get polished on any of this space. You want to join and put energy into what we're doing and expand it. Tap in with us. Our Instagram, Khalifa Society 7. Reach out to us. Also, don't forget, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, we have a fundraiser we're doing for land, purpose to get a community, farming, and have a like-minded peers. Businesses come from land ownership on a lot of different levels. So, peace and love, everybody. This has been episode 1 of More Knowledge, the Mexican connection to the Moorish connection to Mexico. Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, guys.